Already ready to rock and roll in our 14th annual Trevor Wilkins Memorial Syracuse Qualifier, but as the premier Mademoiselle Fitness Center Dwarf cars and mod lights do our first quadrant of entertaining, and a problem there for Kerry Mason in the 14 out of Virgil. The car is dead in the water down on the rim of the back straightaway just exiting turn 2. Is it going to need a yellow? It might, but maybe not. Keep our eyes on it here. James Curran, car number 22, leads him around turns 3 and 4. Paul Klager back with us, of course. Some marvelous news with daughter Mackenzie and her treatment at the McMaster Hospital, and everybody who bought tickets for the Children's Wish, thank you very much for that. Klager hanging on to second place, but Slider in the 71 dueling there with Justin Sharp in the G4s. Excellent grip from top to bottom, the veteran. Ackler in the 7, the little pickup truck that's not doing so sharp right now. And Breeden in the back end, the 116. Kern in the 22 leads them across. These cars also have the transponders, so the running order and the lap times available on the automated scoreboard on top of the berm in between turns 3 and 4, and of course the manually operated lap counter up in turn number 1. Double flag signal from Barry Davidson. And the G4 is challenging Klager down below, stays down at the bottom. That may have been a big mistake, as suddenly the G4s of Justin Sharp out of St. Catharines takes over second place. James Curran in the 22 out of Port Colborne looks at the white flag from Barry Davidson. One more trip around, and the mighty little premier Mademoiselle Fitness Center Dwarf cars are off and running. Hang on, a spin there for Sharp. Something happened, and the thing does a little pirouette on the exit of turn 2. Kern in the 22. James will bring her around. He'll come down to grab checkers and take the win. Slider by maybe a nose over Klager at the line. That was close. Give it to Klager, at least in terms of the transponders on the scoreboard, and that's pretty much the decider right there.
And a fine run for James Kern after rolling Saturday night,
exactly, too. Fran. Exactly. Good point. Front row on the inside, the number 5, Jordan Curran out of Waynfleet. Gets the jump there and tries to pull Adam Leslie in the 15L with him as the slider machine fades towards the back. Wayne Robbins, our points leader by 17 over Russell. Right up alongside and early, down low in that low little red machine. You can barely see him behind the guardrail. But the car is rapid. He's our defending champion and our current points leader. The guy has this series by the nose, if you will. Cross the stripe again. Robbins dueling there with Jordan Curran out of Waynfleet. And there goes Robbins and bobbing along if you wanna. Turns 3 and 4. 3 laps in. Robbins in a good fight here between the 25 of Adam Murphy. And the 15 of Adam Leslie. Trying to catch Robbins in the 48. Double flag warning from Barry Davidson. Taking over second place, Adam Murphy out of St. Catharines. Pretty much all strung out by now. Corey Howe trying to take the position away from the 13 of Graham McKay, and something wrong with Adam Leslie's 15L. He got way out of shape up there, but turns 3 and 4. The white flag comes out from Barry. And Wayne Robbins out of Welland, Ontario. The pride of the Rose City, nice and loud. Here he comes in that little red car that is mighty, mighty quick. He'll grab checkers for the heat win. Put the 25 of Adam Murphy second, and Curran in the 5, and just Jordan Curran picking up the third place finish. Next crop of Premier Mademoiselle Fitness. Josh Slider in the 17. Gets overhauled pretty early, and the 37 of Wally Billing takes over. We got the computer screens up here. I'm not used to having one here to look at. I'm gazing at the paper. 4 wide down the front straightaway. Johnson, 63 on the inside, joined the party to make it 4 wide. hair-raising stuff as the shadows get longer down the front straightaway at Merrittville. Wally Billing, your leader. Dan Russell second. Josh Schleider running third. Brubaker is fourth. Jeff Johnson fifth. Dave Russell is sixth. Then Nolan Payette, Scott Billing, and Melvin Jeffrey. That little pickup, Wally Billing, came into the night 10th in points with one feature win. There's Brubaker in the 67. He's on the move. Overhauls Johnson in the 63 out of Versailles, New York. Across the stripe they go. So it's Billing, Brubaker, Johnson, Russell, and Scott Billing. Wally up front, Scott Billing back in fifth. And Russell in the 88. He's on the move as well. Russell second in the points, just 17 behind Wayne Robbins coming into the night. Double flag signal from Barry Davidson. Now look at this, a little bit of a change here, and check it out. Brubaker in the 67 scoops the corner, takes the white flag from Barry Davidson. Billing shunts back to second. A little change there late in the complexion. Johnson in the 63 digging in down below. Russell in the 88 on the top. Trying to get by that little pickup. Russell wants second. Brubaker running very well the last few weeks, continuing the roll. Picks up the win, give the second place position to the 37 of Billing. Dave Russell third in the 88, then Jeff Johnson, Scott Billing, Dan Russell's 88X, Josh Schleider, Nolan Payette, and Melvin Jeffrey. Clinton Jeffrey, the other Jeffrey, is here.
The hardest.
Of Kevin Kokrick out of Font Hill, the 1J Jason Fontaine out of Port Colborne, the 88 Shane Pierce out of Waynfleet, and the 44 Jeff Damon out of St. Catharines, 310C Mike Dooley out of St. Catharines, and the M1 Rob Murray out of St. Catharines.
Nice and quick, way to go, Fran. Duel on the dirt, tune-up number one. And Disher in the 17. This car got cuffed around pretty badly in the ladies' race here a couple of evenings ago. Jason Fontaine in the one, digging in on the bottom. Rob Disher in the 17. The orange car continues to lead. Jason Fontaine second. Shane Pierce in the 88, who had a vicious flip here a couple of weeks ago up in turn one. Hanging on to third, but he's got company on the outside. From the Rick Beals 117, Rob Murray in the M1. Jeff Damon in the 44. The Kevin Kokrick, number 7, and the 310 of the Candyman, Mike Dooley. He'll be out here later on for one of our bike draws along with Alan Johnson. 2.5 to 3 wide, jamming in there in turn 3. An evenly matched field indeed, Fran. Shane Pierce up front, fighting there with Fontaine in the 1. Pierce in the 88. Fontaine gets hung up on the cushion. He wants to retire. He takes the escape road just like that.
Are you off, Matt?
Rob Murray up to second place. Kevin Kokrick in the 7, running third. Pierce into the night in the 13th place location in the points order. Rob Murray trying to hunt him down in the M1 Camaro. Word out of General Motors that the Camaro, the F-body car, may be making a comeback. But right now, this Camaro's running pretty loud and pretty proud. Kevin Kokrick from nearby Font Hill running a very tight third, then a bit of a gap back to Damon. Jeff Damon, the Tim Hortons 44. The Candyman and Disher. Candyman in the 10, Mike Dooley. And Rob Disher in the 17. Got a little battle going there. Pretty much single file the rest of the way here with 2 flags in the air from Barry Davidson. 14th annual Trevor Wilkins Memorial Syracuse Qualifier, a big block event on the Advanced Auto Parts Super Dirt Series Trail, and a duel on the dirt tonight for these Hoosier Stock boys who have almost a 400-point deficit to overcome in that saw-off with our friends at Brighton Speedway. They have a chance to make hay tonight. I don't think very many of the Brighton boys have made the trip up here tonight, but they've got a big enough cushion. It may not matter. But the Merrittville guys are going to stack the points up best they can here tonight. Shane Pierce leads the charge down to the business rag, the checkers. Shane's got her there. Murray second probably. Kokrick very tight for third. Jeff Damon, Mike Dooley, and the rest of the crew. Dolph McCready in the 27, former Hogan the 48 into tonight with a 10-point lead on the 44 of Jeff Damon, who you saw in the last heat. And there's Dolph McCready, the Bono Pizza 27. Terry St. Amant, the Harvey Swiss Chalet 20 double feature winner, back after a long retirement. Former late model and modified champion at this track. Dolph continues to lead it. Hang on, they got a spin up there. Ron Kingsbury goes around. He got involved with Russ Davidson's 53. Does a little bit of a looper up there in turn one. That's going to bring out the yellow flag. And there it is.
Well, Eric, Ron Kingsbury has tons of fuel pouring out the back of that 73.
Getting ready for green to relight the fuse and rocking and rolling once again. Dolph McCready knows his way around this piece of real estate, the former champion. Look at St. Amant on the outside using that high line. Overhauling Pete Reed in the 05 with that toy store in the passenger window of the 05. Lots of stuffed toys. 3 balls for a quarter. There you go. St. Amant slots himself in the second spot, but he's got Pete Reed right there, a little rubbing going on. Red paint and orange paint. That's kind of like brown. They don't go together. But they are wedging against each other as they go turns 3 and 4. Cody McPherson trying to break loose of that pack in the 777, but it's still Dolph McCready, your leader. St. Amant is second. Reed is third. Knapp is fourth. Then you've got Hogue in the 48H. Cody McPherson, 777, Davidson's 53, and Vince Fargnoli in the 55. Here they come, pointing it straight down into the sun. Into turn one. It's still McCready, your leader. St. Amant second. Pete Reed is third. They're pretty much strung out, although Cody McPherson in the 777 and Russ Davidson's 53 have a little side-by-side action going. At least they did going into turn four. Maybe get the bumpers together there just a little bit, but pretty much strung out. 2 laps to go. The signal from veteran flagman Barry Davidson. Dolph McCready has led this one from the opening whistle. Straightens her out, looking for the white flag. One more trip around. Terry St. Amant may not have anything and may not want to do anything with this right now. Slides it forward, something wrong with McCready. Oh, and St. Amant goes around, piles up a bunch of people up there. A few more missed this thing. Well, that was really strange. Jenny, we're green all of a sudden. Whoa, the guys say hang on here. That's got to be tough looking into that sun, though, let me tell you. It's right in their eyes as they go down into turn number one. Dolph McCready, your leader and easy in the Buono Pizza number 27. Billy Hogue running second, looking for checkers this time around, straightening things out. There you go. Dolph McCready picks up the win. Hogue is second. Reed is third. Cody McPherson, Russ Davidson, Vince Fargnoli, Kingsbury, Knapp, and St. Amant. With a lot of authority. There's all kinds of good talent. The big blocks in the 358s are rocking and rolling. Heat number one. 14th annual Trevor Wilkins Syracuse qualifier, Shane.
Working it down the back straightaway. Tim Fuller, half car length advantage. He'll take it in on the inside as Plank works the top side. Fuller will bring him around. He'll lead him on lap number one.
Boyd McTavish trying to work his way around the 6J of Joe Isabel, trying to swing that experience around in turn number 4.
Working it down the back stretch. The number 9 of Cosgrove rides back there in the 5th spot. That's the final transfer position. Top 3 go to the draw. The Dr. Danny Johnson, the Dave Thompson owned number 27J, goes to work on the Plank 73 for position number 2.
Kerr in the 07, Francisco Pereira, one of our Merrittville regulars, dueling at the back, trying to get around there. Francisco had a good charge going in 3, but he lost some ground. The 19 continues to lead. That is Tim Fuller.
Working it down into corner number 1 and 2. The Doctor takes a look to the inside of the 73 of Plank. Couldn't muster up the power that time to get by. As they race into corner number 3 and 4, Fuller brings it across the stripe. He's got himself a little bit over a second advantage.
Tim Fuller, Dale Plank, Danny Johnson, Joe Isabel, Ken Cosgrove, Boyd McTavish, Ricky Rickner, Francisco Pereira, Tim Kerr, your top 9 running automobiles. Look at Danny Johnson working the bottom. He's known for working the top, but he's making the bottom line work right now.
Danny got his first win with that team last night at the Tri-City Speedway, and he picked himself up $2,000, looking for $6,000 tonight for the win in the Advanced Series race. He goes wheel to wheel with Plank into 3.
Dale Plank in the 73, trying to swing it around. Danny Johnson in the Troyer, he shuts the door, but it's still Fuller. The time 1:35.930. Danny Johnson 1:38, a 3-second advantage. The white flag is in the air from Barry Davidson.
One more time around, Tim Fuller in the nativepoker.com John Lazore Motorsports ride. And look at Point to the inside, trying to get by the Doctor for position number 2.
And the Doctor has switched to that customary outside line. Now he drops it down to the low line, but coming around to grab checkers, it'll be the number 19, Tim Fuller.
Danny Johnson will cross in second. Point goes to the draw in third. Isabel makes the show in fourth. Fifth will be the 9 of Cosgrove. He gets into the dance. Following him, McTavish, Rickner, Francisco Piero, and Tim Kerr will round out the field and have to try again a little bit later on. This one, he has on his outside Superman Shepard in the Randy Ross number 44S. Green means go off the turn. 8 laps the distance. 5 cars to qualify. Top 3 go to the redraw.
Brett the Jet has won a big block qualifier here at Merrittville in 91, a 358 small block triumph in 1995. He is searching for career win number 700. Will he bag it here at Merrittville Speedway? Trevor Wilkins qualifier and some sheet metal damage on Lemaire's 56. I didn't see what happened, but he's got the right rear quarter panel peeled back pretty badly, Shane.
Little contact. Hang on, turn number 2. We've got the 8J machine losing an axle out of the left rear. That is Tom Sears. Todd Gordon facing the wrong way up there in corner number 4. Watching the Sears 8J car go around, you can see the whole axle pulled out of the rear end of that ride. Lucky that that car didn't catch and go over.
A catastrophic failure of the center section, what I'll call the pumpkin affectionately. It's a big kind of round section in the middle that holds both tubes, which are your 2 axles. The left side axle is still attached, but the whole tube tore off. All the torsion arms, everything gone, Shane and Eric. This is something you don't normally see. It is really tore up. I'd be quite shocked if they've got enough time to get all this repaired, and if he didn't damage something else when all this got tore up on the frame. Now, a huge puddle of oil here. The brake line's been tore off, of course, as the wheel and everything's gone. So
123 big block wins, 160 358 wins. The totals are astounding. Right now, he's got Shepard hounding him down on the inside. Brett the Jet in the number 20 stringing it around. Side by side down the back straightaway. A couple of Advanced Auto Parts warriors going side by side, kicking each other in the shins as they come around 4.
That is a new Big Mel chassis underneath Superman Shepard. Finger Lakes power plant strapped between the pipes of the BKS GU Hardware 44S. And Superman isn't undaunted by 699 wins. He'll take the top spot away.
Locally made Bicknell chassis against the TO chassis. And right now, Shepard in the BKS machine has got the point.
Hang on, turn number 4, Todd Gordon.
Again, the birthday boy not having a very good birthday out here.
No, he isn't.
No.
Turn number 4 has been his Achilles heel tonight.
Absolutely, and Derek Lemaire got cuffed around a little bit more in car.
Well, better way to cut your teeth than in the sportsman ranks to move up to the big blocks.
Certainly have been some quick drivers out of Hamilton. Bruce Van Dyke certainly comes to mind. Todd Burley in the 62 trying to find
Shepard got the inside wall.
Wow, Shepard caught the inside guardrail right where Clinton Jeffrey was located, and all of a sudden the 44S just sort of shut down right there, handing things over to Brett the Jet. Now Burley dueling there with Tompkins in the 1. That's a good battle for second place. Lemaire trying to dig in down on the bottom, Shane, in the 56.
Yellow lights are on. Matt Shepard caught the inside guardrail between corners number 1 and 2, and it set off a traffic jam. Gary Tompkins had to get on the binders in order to keep...
McNell for the championship across the bridge at the Ransomville Speedway. Burley in the Mullen 62, the former Ron Smoker ride. Here they go, pounding into 1. Tompkins in the 1 looking for room. Kroll in the 123 on the top. Hang on. He almost gets clobbered by Tompkins in the Pillsbury 1. Little contact there as Tompkins gets into the back of Burley. They're laying on the pipe here, Shane.
Yes, they are. Robbie Kroll started in the rear of the field after arriving late to the Speedway. He's now moved up to position number 5. Top 5 will transfer. Gary Tompkins hung out to dry on the top side right now as Derek Lemaire trying to keep that position number 3. That is the final draw spot.
Lemaire hanging up in here despite all that sheet metal damage. Doing good work to stay in the top 3 if he can. But he's got to get on it here. Got a little bit discombobulated back there, right there, and almost got overhauled by Tompkins.
White flag is out, Eric. One more time around for the Brett Hearn number 20. A little bit over 1.3 second lead over the 62 of Todd Burley.
Derek Lemaire third, Tompkins 4th, and Robbie Kroll 5th. Checkered flag in the air for Brett the Jet. He's got the place figured out already in the Wentworth 20. Todd Burley 2nd, Lemaire, Tompkins, Kroll, And the 15 of Hamburg, New York's Tim Jones, one of our Merrittville regulars. 98H in the 91 of Merrittville regular Travis Cunningham.
Road number 4 on the inside. That is the kid, Kenny Stafford, 17-year-old driver. Won the sportsman race at Syracuse during Super Dirt Week last year, and rounding out the field in the number 44 machine out of St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, in the Gaston's Auto Sales 406 Auto Parts, number 44. That is Brian Stevens.
Flying Brian, of course, a former track champion here at the Speedway. Did not drive this car beginning of the year, Shane. His dad owns it. He tried a few other people, including Harry Sittler, but Brian has been back in the car the last month or so in the Gaston Auto 44. He's a guy who knows how to get around here. The equipment's a little bit tired, but Brian can always be counted on to give it his very best shot. Decker in the 91, Pat Ward in the 42, couple of teammates dueling side by side up front, and here comes the Hurricane, Steve Payne in the 7X.
Working it off of corner number 4, Decker, a 2-car length advantage right now over the Pat Ward number 42 P machine. The Hurricane, Steve Payne, had a top 10 finish finally after finishing out of the top 15 in 6 straight Advanced Series races. Gets a top 10 run at Eldora, finally has a head of steam going.
Steve had a peek down on the inside of Ward going into 1, thought better of it and backed out. He may want to try this again on the back straightaway. It's interesting. Look at this late braking. This is when you separate the men from the girls. Late braking in turn 3.
Keep your eye on Jimmy Phelps back there in position number 5 as a Hurricane to the inside of Pat Ward. I asked Pat Ward tonight, I said, how do you run here? He says, well, not very good. I'm going to do my best to keep it in a qualifying spot. He's back to third. He's in the final draw spot, but he has 2 heavy hitters right behind him. Jimmy Phelps to the inside of Pete Bicknell for 4.
Exactly. Bicknell trying that high line. You know what? If he went to Bicknell, I'm talking about the number 91 of Billy Decker. If he asked him for the right gear, he got the right gear information, because Decker out front and flying with 1.19 seconds ahead of Steve Payne. Pat Ward third, Pete Bicknell fourth, Jimmy Phelps is fifth.
Man, you know, Eric, one of the things we talk about are the manufacturers of the chassis, and as you look out here on the Speedway right now, Decker is in a Bicknell. A Teal runs in second in the form of Payne. Ward is in a Bicknell in third, followed by a Troyer of Jimmy Phelps, and then, of course, Pete Bicknell in what else? A Bicknell.
Love diversification in equipment. It's what makes the racing world go round.
As they dance down the back stretch, it is the Billy Decker number 91. He brings it off of corner number 4. He will get the white flag one more time around for him to pick up the win in heat race number 3.
Second at Eldora, 7 points in front of Alan Johnson. Win at Orange County back in July.
Final time off of corner number 4. Checkered flag is in the air. Billy Decker collects the win for heat race number 3. Steve Payne second. Pat Ward goes to the draw in third, while Jimmy Phelps and Pete Bicknell will both qualify. The number 91 of Travis Cunningham, Brian Stevens, and Kenny Stafford will complete the field.
Good fight there. Challenge in front of AJ Slideways, and look out.
That is the first Bicknell 2007 chassis to roll out on a Speedway. He finished back in 6th place with it at Eldora after setting fast time, and we've got trouble in turn number 1.
Scott Wood goes around. Dan Miller goes around as well. The 38, the 22, a couple of Merrittville regs. Run is done in a second.
That guy that's sitting on the pole, though, Alan Johnson, if all the power was getting down to that car, he would still feather that throttle enough where he wouldn't use all that power. It's amazing to watch Alan Johnson finesse a race car around speedways.
And I'll tell you what, Larry Lampman, our points leader, jabbing in there with Frank Cozy out of Wind Gap, Pennsylvania. And there's a guy that's had an excellent year. It's Larry Lampman, our former champion. If everybody can give Alan Johnson fits, it's Larry Lampman in the 23.
Right now, he has to hold off Frank Cozy's number 44. A good run for Adam Ferry back there in position number 4. Fast Freddie Carlton, he's up to the 5 spot, trying to keep Chad Brackman behind him.
Alan Johnson, we mentioned he's a former Saturday night regular at this Speedway and a former track champion. That was a phenomenal year that we had Alan here every Saturday night running the Mike Maroney-owned machine. Alan Johnson, AJ Slideways out of turn 4, leading.
We still call him AJ Slideways, but that car never wiggles anymore.
No,
I don't know
doesn't.
if Gary Spade and I were having that conversation at lunch today. You really can't call him Slideways. That car is just as straight as an arrow.
Straight as a string, and here he comes out of turn 4. Lampman 23 second. Frank Cozy is third in the 44. Adam Ferry and Scott Wood in trouble on the opposite end of the speedway. Spun up in turn 1. He's in trouble in turn 4.
Here with us, thanks for supporting the Big Block Modifieds and the Merrittville Speedway. As we get the green one more time, and Alan Johnson, the nativepoker.com, WPC Associates, Pine Line Auto Sales, Bicknell Chassis takes him down into corner number 3 and 4.
Alan Johnson, your leader. Larry Lampman, second. Cozy trying to close in there for third. Riding it down the front straightaway. Adam Ferry hanging in there. It's Johnson, Lampman, Cozy, Ferry, Brackman, Carlton, Dan Miller, and Scott Wood. And Fast Freddy gets trapped up there on top of that huge cushion.
Scott Wood in trouble on the back straightaway.
Oh,
he's going to pull it down in the infield. 1 lap remains for Alan Johnson. Impressive with Larry Lampman Jr. here, Eric.
Yes.
He is not far behind Alan Johnson at all.
Now we mentioned it, former champion is having a great year. He comes into the night with a 7-point lead on Bicknell and track points in 358s. He's going to stick with the top guys. That's no surprise at all. Johnson with the win. Lampman second. Cozy, Adam Ferry, Chad Brackman, Dan Miller, and Carlton in that order. A good qualifying round.
Alan Johnson, Larry Lampman, and Frank Cozy will go to the